Welcome to Rewriting Your Reality, a video. Welcome to Rewriting Your Reality, a video. Welcome to Rewriting Your Reality, a video focused on hypnotic modalities to shift the belief systems that keep you captive. We will explore the journey from being subconsciously programmed to achieving quantum freedom. Get ready to dismantle everything you thought you knew about your own limitations. The mind's power is a historical fact. Franz Mesmer introduced animal magnetism in the 1700s. James Braid coined hypnotism, defining it as a focused physiological state. Crucially, before anesthesia, major surgeries were performed using this trance state, proving the mind's ability to override physical pain. My personal journey proves the mind transcends the body. A near-death experience revealed pure awareness. After being paralyzed, I reprogrammed my body through visualization and discipline. The core truth is that identity is the prison and the key. Your mind can reshape reality itself. Unmasking the global hypnotic modality. Secret societies and governments. They understood the power of the trance state long ago and weaponized it to shape societal structures from the shadows. Corporate hypnosis. Advertising and media use sophisticated neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, to obscure reality and shift your belief systems without your consent. The ultimate goal, to control the narrative, consumption, and consciousness of the masses, turning individuals into predictable units of a manufactured paradigm. They are the masters of the hypnotic modality. The first element of global hypnotic modality is authority, manufactured to establish psychological inferiority. Uniforms, robes, and controlled environments trigger unquestioning obedience. When you look up to an authority, your critical factor is lowered, accepting suggestions as absolute truth. The uniform is the first induction. The second element is translogic, a self-contained system logical only within its own framework. This creates a closed loop of reasoning. A doctrine establishes ultimate authority, turning rules into absolute truths. The paradigm acts as a perceptual filter, making external manipulation feel like internal conviction. The third element is overload, creating an intense, rapid-fire experience that bypasses the conscious mind. Techniques include sensory saturation, emotional triggers, and message overload. This forces the subject to feel something profound, anchoring the belief without rational scrutiny. The heart accepts what the head has no time to question. The grand illusion is when you become your own hypnotist. Division keeps us fighting each other, distracting us from the masters of the modality. They use filtered evidence to make you doubt your power. The ultimate control is when you self-hypnotize with their suggestions. I am not enough. This is the self-hypnosis of suffering. The quick release uses the Sedona method to clear emotional debris. Emotional baggage is just something you are holding on to. You can drop it using these 4 questions. Could I let this feeling go? Would I let this feeling go? When? Answer. Now. Repeat until you feel a tangible shift in your state. The reframe shifts meaning and reality. Change the meaning you attach to an event, and you change your emotional response. Content reframing actively searches for the positive intent or hidden benefit. Failure is just data and feedback. A block is a stepping stone. Change the question to change the destination. You are already in a trance. Self-hypnosis is choosing your own program. This is your new operating system. Use a simple countdown to enter a deep state and plant empowering beliefs into your subconscious mind. Consistent practice rewrites your core identity, dissolving suffering and manifesting the quantum you. Are you ready to take your quantum leap? This exclusive transformation package offers the book 30 Days to the Quantum You, custom video masterclasses, and a personal Zoom session for deep work. Stop fighting the illusion and start rewriting your reality today.
Welcome to There's Oops. I thought this say my whole channel. Ain't that funny? This is a beautiful day. So welcome to Beyond the Mind, where we are not here to teach. We are only here to remind you. Happy Friday to everyone out there. I hope you had an amazing, transformative week. And I hope you're looking forward to the possibility of a wonderful weekend. And I'm doing magnanimously because I'm feeling great, feeling good. I'm moving ahead in my other classes, and you know, had a couple sessions this week with some people, and I feel like it went positively, and I feel like they felt a positive experience. So that was really great and wonderful. So it's been a great week so far. if you're listening, please just put in the chat how your week has been going, how you feel it's been going now that you're at the end of it. And also, what are some things if it didn't go that well that you would have liked to have gone differently? And Chef,
What's up, brother? How are
how
you?
how are you doing?
Oh man, blessed to be here. Thanks for having me once again. It's always a pleasure to be on Beyond the Mind. I'm glad you had a good week. I'm surprised you didn't call me for a counseling session after your sessions, like I always call you. So,
Well, I called you after them.
oh, did you?
You
Okay.
know, it wasn't really. It was more like a colleague conversation of, oh,
Oh,
this is a
okay.
great session. These techniques. I was telling you work really well. I used this one for that, and it was good. you know, uh, but I want to talk a little bit. I just want to say what the topic is for this episode,
Mhm.
and the topic for this episode is the American dream leading to a health crisis in America, a mental health crisis.
I think so. I think absolutely.
You
I
know,
think the pursuit of happiness is driving people insane because they can't afford the price of it. Like
mm,
literally, can't afford the price of the sacrifice. Can't afford the price of the ticket of the price of what you're trying to purchase. It's so many. We're at such a disadvantage now. I don't ever remember it being this lopsided. And like the American dream when I was coming up, I was born in the 70s. Um, and it was to get a blue collar job or a corporate job. That was like getting a corporate job was the amazing thing, right? Or have your own business and have it running. Um, then it kind of started changing in the 90s. Well, you know, crack era happened, and then the 90s, and it's like, all the crime and the murders and all that crap. But then after that, it's like, okay, the internet came out. So then everyone started to be into individualism, right?
mm.
And creating their own. I thought it was dot commerce. It was a dot commerce in the was it late 90s, early 2000s. And then it went from dot commerce to crypto, right? So I mean, it has steadily been getting more and more uneven. We just haven't seen it like this before, right? So like, I'll take my past career. I worked in film and TV for 33 years. Um, the kind of work that I would have to do today to make the same amount of money that I made 3 years ago is like the jobs just aren't there. So, do you kill yourself, die trying to repeat to something that is no longer there, right? And then you have like AI taking all the jobs, or not. I shouldn't say taking jobs. I should say eliminating jobs. Excuse me, right?
Mm.
So then you have what, middle-aged people looking for work when they're basically that they've aged out. It's almost like people have aged out from, if you're over 40, you're your time is coming, right?
Right.
So what is the dream in that, of always looking over your shoulder wondering if you're going to be there? Like, we're in a perpetual state of nervousness, which takes obviously an effect on our mental capacity. So like, how do you function in a perpetual state of nervousness consistently, like habitually?
Well, I
You know?
think that would lead to the mental health crisis that we're seeing.
Yes.
I
I
really
mean,
do.
we're spinning our wheels, and it's becoming insane because you can't, no matter what you see, what you need, you're gonna do those 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours to get what you need, right? But are you gonna be able to get up the next day? Are you gonna be able to go to work and like spend time with your family?
Mm.
You know, it's almost like we have a almost like we have society of people that just are just kind of lost, and everyone is looking for the antidote.
Right. Well, yeah, the interesting thing is I did do some research on this about uh this American dream. And I would like to first just sort of define what the American dream is or was, right?
You should be
And
the
it,
white picket fence and the
yeah,
wife and the kids.
right. That was the essential metaphor that by a certain age you're going to uh if you go to school and you obtain a high degree, right, in a good field, that you're going to get a good job.
Hmm.
That's the first part of the American dream, right? And that part of the American dream has shattered,
Gone.
right? So that's one, right? Another part was that you were going to make enough money to save up to be able to get married, right? And put at least a down payment, right? Between $10,000 and $20,000 on a home, right?
More than that now.
Well, at one time, the medium price of a house was about 150 to $200,000, right? But
Yeah,
the
well,
but the medium price now is like 400,000, right? So the
mhm.
buy-in now is much higher. Hey, what's up, Moya? We got Moya jumping in on it. My sister's come in. She's gonna jump in on the topic with us about is the American dream leading to a mental health crisis in America, right? Because I wonder too, like before I go jumping off, right? And then that third part is that you would be able to work that good job for a certain amount of time. And
Hmm.
while doing so, you would be able to pay off your home. And by the time you retired, your home would be paid off. You
Yeah.
would have a nice nest egg of a savings, and you would
Hmm.
be able to enjoy your retirement with your grandkids and your family and travel.
Hmm.
Right. And I believe that was truly last experienced by what they called the boomer generation.
Yes. The crazy thing is, I don't even, I was talking to my mom, and I don't mean to throw nobody out there under the bus, but I don't even think they really understand what they've done to the following generations. Just that their act of freedom, right? Because they got the opportunity to experience what was it, Aquarian age, so they had a lot of new thing discovery, new things, being true to self and finding their true identity. I don't even know if they understand how much they've actually affected us.
Well, here's what I'm gonna do before Moya gives her take on it. What I did was I looked into Psychology Today, a journal on
Hmm.
psychology, and so I looked up uh, this issue with the American dream and if it is causing or having an impact. And this is what it had to say. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm
Hmm.
just going to read from the section that says psychological impact of deferred dream.
Hmm.
It says for many young adults, the American dream feels more like a mirage than an achievable goal. This delusionment takes a psychological toll, particularly when individuals were raised to believe that hard work alone guarantees success. Systemic barriers and financial instability have led to an increase in mental health challenges, especially amongst marginalized communities. Excuse me. And so I'll just stop right there, right? Because some of the other parts of that goes into loss of hope. Many young adults accept, right, to build a life similar. They expected to build a life similar to the previous generation, only to find themselves struggling to afford rent, let alone buy a home or start a family. The
Yeah.
gap between aspiration and reality fosters deep disillusionment, making it difficult to remain optimistic about the future. So
Mhm.
Moya, what did you want to chime in on that?
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, you coming in loud and clear.
Okay. I thought this was an interesting topic because I watched this topic really take a toll on my mother and her mental health, right?
Mm,
Because what happens is this attainment of being successful has it ties into you and your self-worth, right?
mm,
So I watched my mom as she got older and should have been able to really enjoy her life at the age that she was. She actually started to feel like she was not useful because
mm.
she felt like she wasn't able to contribute to the continued success for her family, you know? So it's just interesting how this idea of what determines you to be successful has really a lot to tie in with your self-esteem, and it's kinda sad because we're they dictate for us what
Mhm.
is considered successful. I had to really step back myself and look at some things like, "Do I really wanna do that?"
Sorry about
You
that.
know? These people tell us these are the things that make us appear to be successful, but sometimes when you see people who say, like, "I don't think I want a house," I look at them and I go, "I think you might be right," because it ties you into a lot that you just might not be it might not be your dream. So we don't know how to dream our own dreams. We're constantly fed other people's dreams and what they dictate to us is successful.
Well, I think nice to meet you, Moya. I'm Stefan.
Same
Right.
as you. Nice to meet you as well.
I think the pursuit of happiness is what's driving people almost insane because um, what we're happy with maybe 20% of the time, and the 80% is the pursuit, right? So the pursuit of the American dream is obviously that idea of the white picket fence, the family, the dog, going to school, kid walking kids to school, like that. I mean, that has not really been existent in almost 20 years. We could
I
just
agree.
we could see it now because
Yeah.
and I think Talib and I we were talking earlier about expats and how people are leaving the states to go to other countries in the pursuit of happiness, but also the cost of living, the quality of life,
Right.
but when they get there, they still have to deal with themselves,
Right.
right? But just in a much more pleasant environment for them. Well, for some, I shouldn't say for everybody, but for some.
I agree with you because, well, here's the thing: your environment has a lot to do with how you behave.
Mhm.
You know, and maybe for some people, they need to get out of this environment and step into an environment that's more conducive for the individual they're looking to become. Right, but it's really messed up that the fact is that you feel like you gotta,
Well, it's
leave
almost like
here to order to find that,
And I think that we also spend so much of our life trying to find out what makes us happy. Right? I
yeah.
mean, I think about it even myself, it took me to get, to the age that I am to really stop and take a look at like what is making me happy. I feel like I'm working this job, I've achieved this, I did this, but are those things really making me happy? Or does it make me feel complete? Or am I just checking off all of these boxes that they say that we have to do, you know? And
Yeah.
I don't think we were taught as children how to really figure out what makes you happy instead of
Mhm.
you trying to make other people seem like you're happy.
Well,
Well,
was it?
I think that ties into, okay, I gotta do it. You wasn't here for that show, but you was with me more than that one. That ties into that, how children are raised, how children are allowed to explore or not explore boundaries, right? When you just create boundaries out of a sense of a child needs to be disciplined, opposed to a child exploring themselves, right? And that's a big difference between what type of person they're going to turn out to be, right? My I know that I don't do certain things because I don't want it done to me, right? And I know what a kicking feels like, right? So I think twice about what I do because I know that there are certain consequences, right? Now, it's very possible if I was raised with a different set of understanding of boundaries, right? I would be a type of person never really find myself in that situation, right? And I would be able to approach it from a different perspective, right? But because I learned, violence is an answer. If you've got a whooping in your life, then you learned violence is an answer. Not to say it's the answer, but it's knowing you come to believe that violence isn't a answer, especially if you grew up in that type of understanding. So to tie that back into the American dream thing with this generation, you have to
So
remember that we was brought up under okay, the boomers was brought up under help me out here, Moya. You know what they was brought up under too.
well, let me just say, so is the American dream to leave America? Is that the American dream now?
And this is where I'm about to get into. This okay.
Right.
During their generation, it was Mr. Ed, it was Andy. What was it, Moya? You know what I'm talking about?
Listen, you going a bit older than me.
No, I'm not saying that
Don't
you were
put me
there
on
for it.
there.
Listen, I grew up on a lot of Nick at Night.
That's funny.
Okay, we both did. So it's not that we grew up there. I'm just saying we saw the shows of that time because they were popular, and you didn't have 10,000 stations today, so they still played old stuff. And if you was a child that was sick or had to stay home or stayed up later than you were supposed to, these are shows you saw, right? My
Right.
point is, their generation was brought up on this image, right? Of what the American dream looked like. Remember, we got the American dream from Hollywood. They're the ones that projected the image of what it looks like,
Well,
right?
if you go with that, then we
That's why
only,
you
as
say
black
white.
people, got the American dream when the Cosbys came in.
Thank you. That's when the
Yes.
nuclear family formed, right? That's when they got us to get rid of our grandparents, not to have second cousins and big stuff when we were together, right?
Mhm.
These were the shows because before that, when you had shows like What's Happening Now, this was a different dynamic, right?
Mhm.
What I'm saying is the generation today, look at what they've been showed the American dream is. All the celebrities look identical.
Mhm.
All the music sounds identical.
Mhm.
To successfully complete the American dream today, you must make yourself a successful brand.
Or
But you
and
know how few people
I
can
hate
act. This
I
is
hate
why I say the mental health is bad too. You know how many few people can actually do that?
I mean I hate to say this, but America presently is actually losing its culture because
Absolutely.
because it's chasing so many people out of it, right?
No,
And the
because they corporate look. It's like every movie we love that 5 films that like it appeared after it. They have learned how to corporatize our lives, right?
Yeah.
Spit out carbon copies. One influencer does something that gets 1 million views. There's 1,000 others that do the same thing because
Right.
they all had the same ideal. No, because they saw that guy got 1 million views. There's no creativity because everybody's chasing that thing that's going to make everybody look at them. When before we were trying to create something that would have everybody look, right?
Well,
So
because they never really like individuality. That's why they want everybody to get on the same train.
right, and
well,
So
humans are individuals.
you got
I-
to remember, I mean, how long did they stop making us think that it was only doctors, lawyers, and Indian chiefs that was really successful? You didn't really know of too many careers. I'm trying to think about when I think I was fortunate because of the person my mom was, but a lot of people who I grew up with, they had no really idea of what kind of career or what they wanted to do in life because we were only fed certain things that was going to make you successful.
well, I think one of the best ways to kill individuality is to attack the music, in which that has been successfully done. Um, I mean, think about when we were listening to music in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s when you actually listened to the radio. Remember those days when you waited to actually hear a song on the radio because you couldn't hear it, and you had to listen to the radio to listen to it, and then you'd get your tape deck and you would you would record it. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm aging myself, but
No, or you would actually listen to a whole album.
yeah, but like we actually had options in our music, and our music had errors in it, which made it perfect because it was not like the music now is like programmed exact to a T. When we had music, nothing was programmed exact to a T. Maybe Stevie Wonder, maybe Herbie Hancock. You know what I mean? Maybe a few other people actually had synthesizers that were programmed. Speaking prior to the mid to late 80s and 90s, but yeah, like we grew up at a different time where the music was so powerful, and a lot of creativity and cultural came from our music, and it legitimately has been under attack.
Well, like I said, they cracked the code. They figured out the recipe, right? This is how you make a homegrown artist over the internet, over social media, right? They cracked that code. Now they can take whoever they want, put them in that position, and generate that type of buzz, you know. And my point to that is there's an emptiness to it, and I think that adds to the mental health crisis,
Yeah.
right? Because as the article was stating, they have there's a loss of hope, right? And the delusionment, right, to the fact that they can't pay rent, they can't buy a home, right? Some of these people are coming out of college and cannot get a job. More and more of them are coming out, and they're signing up. They're learning the computer stuff, but what good is the computer stuff going to be as AI takes over more and more and more and more?
I literally just saw our interview today. Some kid got some masters in computer science and blase whatever. Was just saying, he says, I have applied for 150 jobs in the last 3 months, and I have no chance of getting anything because everyone that is my age, that are my peers, that are actually out of school, are all getting the same response. Also, AI is cutting 10, 20, 30,000 jobs at all these major companies. So, like, I mean, these times are. What are we producing besides war and oil and weapons? We have our crops, but some are limited.
Robots. We're making robots, and I think that's what they kind of want. You know, they want everybody to be the same. You know, and their next step is they're going to give us a stipend. We all going to sit in the house and watch the world change.
Well, I've been waiting
Right.
for that
And get paid
basic,
to watch TV.
yeah, that basic
Right,
income.
right.
Universal basic income, right? And that's why, well, of course, in order to before you could do that, of course, you're going to have a massive mental health crisis, right? Of all the people that
of the complete collapse
So
financial.
they
listen,
have to
it's
assimilate.
more than just that because the mental health crisis is not just in the economy. You know, you got to look at what it's doing for us. Identity crisis that people are going through right now. There's so much identity crisis that's going on. It's ridiculous.
I mean,
It's sad. It's sad actually.
the Latino community is going through heavy mental shit right now, and it's a lot of immigrants right now are going through it, and there a lot of them are still here, and some of them aren't, and they're also contributors of the American dream.
Well, listen, we were the immigrants at one point in time, so I tell them, welcome to our world.
I don't disagree with nothing either one of you is saying. It still ties back into that American dream causing a mental health crisis, and the number one uh, mental health problem over 60 million Americans have is anxiety.
Yeah,
Anxiety.
I wonder if some of that is real or not.
Well,
Absolutely.
I know that there are multiple research. I even looked it up. I think it's very real because the people that I personally deal with and see and meet, a lot of people suffer from anxiety, whether it's the driving anxiety, whether it's social anxiety, and
Lack of food,
anxiety
blood,
is a
low blood.
crippling fear. You know, it's
But
not
is
what
it a
some
real
people are.
mental anxiety, or is some of it self-induced? Because you're not they're telling you something and it's not reality, but you're believing it. Like is it real?
I
Well,
have.
and go ahead.
Well, I want to say something. There's a new group of people that,
because there's a new mental condition that our generation, it's after our generation, and it's like it has something to do with the technology, right? Being in this, um, and that is something that is major, and that is
Yeah, that's
coming.
social anxiety. That's social anxiety. You have people that sit behind their computer like all day, like and I think some of this work from home stuff, I don't think everybody has to run to work, but I think some of it has caused people not to want to go back into the work field.
I think that's true. I think that's absolutely true. I mean, well, when you get to see that you actually can have a life and you can do other things and still get your work done and still be productive, kind of hard to go back.
Yeah,
So
but
they,
in a
Well,
way, I mean,
I don't
I
think
was part of that.
that's not anxiety, you know. And you're right. It's something that you generate, right? This is why we can work with it and help people get rid of, anxiety over time by reconditioning them to the stimulus, right?
That's all I'm saying. Is that, like, almost some of it is almost like self-induced anxiety. I think so. I think it's given out a bit much. I don't think I think people are overusing it.
Well,
Like I got
yeah, I
tired
think
of the
people
word
are
narcissist.
I don't think
oh,
every
like nar- oh yeah, they
well,
kill.
first of all, I'm talking about actual anxiety, right? Which is in the DSM-5 anxiety, not the stuff that these people keep saying, right? And they haven't gone and got actual diagnosis that they could show you a piece of paper from their doctor that says you have clinical anxiety,
Well,
right? I'm not talking about that.
you
I'm
got a lot
talking
of people
about the
that's
actual thing
self-diagnosing
where
themselves, though.
it's a huh?
You got a lot of people self-diagnosing themselves.
Right.
no,
But I completely agree,
they
right?
chat GPT and diagnose them.
Said, yeah, right.
Huh?
Chat GPT.
Yeah, it's chat GPT diagnosing.
Come on, man. It's just like some of the, and I'm not saying it's a hoax. I'm just saying there's some really gray areas. That's just like people wanting to get the marijuana card, and you see the doctor that calls you on the phone, and you tell them everything they want to hear, and they go, "Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. You need this, right?" So
Right, but
you
I'm
have,
not talking about those people, right? You're talking about people who don't have anxiety, who are using it as a sort of secondary gain so
right,
that they can get something that they want because they don't want to do something other than the thing they're doing,
but
right?
these people are still in that count of having anxiety.
No, they're not because they haven't actually been diagnosed,
Okay,
right? These are self-diagnosed people you're talking about. Like a person that has a friend who does something that they heard a video says, when someone does this or that, they're a narcissist. And now they would associate it to the
that's
thing the person did, and
that's
now they say they're a narcissist without understanding, like like I know, Moya, that's a whole test you have to do on a person. That's not
Like
totally.
something
the worst word that people could use wrong is like,
narcissism. It's like the most
I got
misused
so
word
tired
out
of
there,
that.
along with anxiety and depression,
Listen,
right?
Tally, I'm just saying you got people out there that can stretch it to put themselves under that and get diagnosed with it and actually get medication, just like the support animals, right? I love my dog. I could go and get a support paper for him, but I really don't need him to support me like that. But you have people out there that really do. Right? So I'm just saying, but those people still fall under that anxiety category, but they probably are stretching it more than they need to.
well, what happened to those people 50
Well,
years
I
ago?
don't think those people would fall under the research material and the
Right.
statistical data because those are people that went and did a study and was vetted.
My question is, not even 30 years ago, how many people had what do they call it, the dogs, the that just
Support animals.
support animals, right? How many people had those 30 years
Service
ago?
animals, yeah.
Service animals, support animals,
Mhm.
emotional support animals, whatever. Throw them all together. How many people actually had those 30 years ago? So are you mean to tell me 30 years ago we could function without these dogs with us, but now we can't?
They were usually, I think, most people who were just blind and other things like that were the ones who were given those kind of allegiance. I don't know, Talib. What do you think?
Uh, I think that 30 years ago was a totally different time and totally different functionality, and people. It takes 20 years to socially engineer society. We have all been socially engineered. We're so far from the relatives that tell us about the times of the before four times that it's hard for a lot of the generations today to associate. They don't really have a personal example of that. You know what I'm saying? But there weren't certain things around before because that wasn't even a part of the mind for them. You know, like if you just look at Moya, there's so many they have currently you can find nicotine as a mental disorder. I think a lot of things they're just
It falls under
expanded on.
addiction.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that a lot of this stuff that was the way it was, it just don't even apply no more. Nobody needed a dog 30 years ago to go around if he wasn't blind. Nobody, I don't even think I have to look it up because I can't be sure, right? Because I don't even know when service dogs for the general public became a thing. You know what I
So
mean?
I remember when mental health became a real thing. When Reagan decided to close down all the mental health hospitals. And then about 10 years later, we start seeing the problems on the street. And now it's escalated to a point where it is absolutely like, what are we doing as a nation? Like, because I know we're talking about the American dream, but when you think about homeless are veterans, PTSD, drug addicts, um, abused, a lot of abused women trying to get away. But the main thing that happens with homelessness is sleep deprivation, and people don't ever really think about like how sleep deprivation will really mess you up. But I was talking to my cousin who is a social worker, and she said it takes 60 days for someone to become completely homeless permanently. And she said something like 75 to 80% of the people who are homeless 60 days are permanently homeless. I was like, wow. And
Does that apply in New York, Moya?
They stretch homelessness in New York. You have to have absolutely nowhere to go. So you can't even tell them, well, I got a cousin's house. I can sleep on a sofa occasionally. They'll be like, nah, you're not homeless.
mm,
So I think every state has their category of what they consider homeless. Yeah.
I mean, I live in Los Angeles, so it is horrible here. You guys don't even know. But the American dream used to be come to LA and become a movie star. And then people come to LA to become homeless now because there's no work. Because that was the American dream, become a movie star, come to Los Angeles, go to Hollywood. But that isn't even here anymore. So yeah, the American dream is not what it once was.
I don't disagree, and I think it's having a great effect on mental health. And I think that I think it's gonna. I think more and more people are going to. They're coming to that realization that they may have uh, an issue that they need to work on.
Mhm.
I don't like.
I
Go ahead.
agree. I agree. I think at some point reality hits you I think this younger generation has this false idea of how you become rich so quickly. Um, so when they are told a job is only paying $15 to $17 an hour, is that realistic for you? Might not even have a high school diploma, right? But it's a form of making money to possibly get experience to move on. But I don't think they see it like that. Like they feel offended if they don't come into jobs making an exorbitant amount of money. It's really unrealistic why a lot of guys don't go out and they get jobs because they feel like I don't want to make that money. Well, what do you think you should make when you have little to no experience? Everybody had to start somewhere, right? And so I don't know. I think that this problem is going to get worse before it gets better because I think the biggest thing that we're not paying attention to is that social media is really giving people a false impression of an American dream,
That is absolutely true.
right?
Yep.
And more of these young people, I see these little kids the way they dancing and because they want to go viral or just people don't even help each other anymore before a person will grab their phone to record you rather than help you and you might be in a serious situation where you need some help. I just watched a video the other day. The man, he was on an escalator and I think he tripped or something and part of his clothing got caught and he stood there for they said the camera caught him for almost like 45 minutes and he died because people just walked past him. Like, that's
Mm.
crazy. You rather walk past somebody and record them rather than to help them. So I don't know. This social media kind of gives everybody this false impression of them becoming famous overnight because they've seen a couple of people do it, right? But
Yeah, there
everybody's
is
going
a
to try
sense
their
of
best.
yeah, it's instant gratification,
Right, right.
and that's what. But if you think about it, they didn't just start there. What happened was the dopamine feedback loop built into social media. It's
Right.
designed to give you a hit of dopamine whenever you get a like or someone agrees with you. It
Right.
literally gives you a hit of dopamine. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? And it starts as little drips, right? Little drips. Something you like, it's not even your stuff first, right? You like
Right.
somebody else's stuff or leave a comment and somebody likes what you like it,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
There's that little hit of dopamine, right? And now there's no regulation. It's no cutoff, right? Don't be like, you've been on here for such time, and there's an 8 hour rest period, right? Now, they don't do that on social media, but those little mobile games, they
Mhm.
do that there so they can control and regulate your dopamine hit, right? Because we both know it's like a drug. So the more times you use the drug, the more of the drug you need, right? To
Mhm.
get back to that place, right? And it's the same thing. So they'll start out liking something, right? Getting likes from that, commenting. This is where you get all these troll people comment. They're getting dopamine hits when you go, "Yo, you're a piece of crap. Why would you say something like that?" You understand? They're laughing, right? Because for them, that's a hit of dopamine, right? And if now you doing that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, before you go to bed, when you wake up, while you walk through your day, while you're eating food, while you're talking to your friends.
And then God forbid you get monetized for it, right? They would
Oh
never
my God, now you're making money. They're like, oh, somebody, you see what I'm saying? And then these platforms encourage it, right?
right.
By having all these videos and influencers. I'm gonna show you how to get 50,000 views, and you could do that in 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah. But they don't highlight what impact this has on people's mental status, right? Because that's why what's his name? Kai Cenat is not no longer doing any more of the streaming because his
No,
mental health was affected.
him and
Oh,
his little brother.
I didn't
Right.
know that.
Yeah. Yes. And it's a lot of streamers that have decided to take a break because it's taxing. It's fun at first, but doing that constantly,
What
it
happens?
does
You
have
get
an effect
high
on.
all the time, yo.
Yeah.
It burns you out. This is why now they're starting. Remember, a lot of these guys was committing suicide. Oh, I should have said that. Excuse me. race that could, not, leaving this world on their own accord, you know. And once they had uh the C-19 thing happen, then that company BetterHelp picked up, right? And that's when remember, that's all the BetterHelp had the best commercial advertisement ever because you never saw that on television. That was solely a social media ad. And now it's one of the biggest apps out in America that I know of, right? And you can Google that yourself that you can find a therapist on. Like the therapist model has become very important to this generation.
Mhm.
That's what I'm seeing. The young ones is the ones that seem to want to get therapy, or like,
Mhm.
I don't think what these I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't agree. You know what I mean? So that's
Uh,
my thoughts on that.
you know, your son. My son is 24. He'll be 25 this year. Uh, I knew that his generation was going to be in trouble. Because he had his entire senior year at home. They had a prom at like, it wasn't really the normal prom. It was minimalized. They had one, but it wasn't the same, you know. And I remember when he had his first year of college, he was supposed to go off to San Francisco State, and he had to stay home and take school online. That really played a huge impact on him, right? Like they didn't get a chance to do the kid things. They didn't get a chance to go out and get drunk on your prom, like the things you do when you're young, like messing up. I'm not condoning them, but I'm saying they didn't get a chance to be kids in his senior year, and then in his first year of college it was actually the same. So I'm thinking about how many kids had 2 years in the freaking house, vital years.
I mean, some of that, would I be wrong, Moya? Wasn't it a little over 2 years for some states and places?
Listen, we felt like we dealt with COVID for at least 5 years in New York, and we were the so-called epicenter of it. Because I think it kind of trickled into everybody else. But we were dealing with it. I felt like we were dealing with it like 2 or 3 years before everybody started really starting to feel the effect of it. So I think it went on about 5 years for us.
Mm.
Yeah, like they socially engineered everybody in a very small amount of time, and isolated people, you know, and just restructured everybody's life at the same time, right? And that had a deep psychological effect, you know. And so I feel like people don't get help because they don't trust, right? And I can honestly respect why, because a lot of the stuff that they it's so many charlatans out there. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. There's a lot of Miss Cleos, if you remember them.
Hey, hold on. I knew Miss Cleo.
What?
Yeah,
Wait, what did you say?
Yeah.
I,
And it's sad because they have taken this wonderful thing of manifestation and they've made a joke out of it, you know? And I feel like a lot of people have used it to also profit off of it, you know, because they're not truly, and it's a real thing, but I don't think they're really teaching people how it's done, right? And so, yeah, I just think that there's been a lot of that has come about. As I say it all the time, I think COVID changed the world, right? Then I think it's caused a lot of apprehension, because there was a lot of scammers came up during COVID. They
man,
turned into millionaires.
you have no like I have a story that's like so phenomenal.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't
yeah.
say it.
So
But
you're
but
right, Talib. The
There's
trust
so
is
many.
really not there because while we talk about how they have these different avenues and they advocate for mental health, but it makes you think, how much of it is really real, and and it starts a lot because another thing came about. during COVID was the life coach.
Oh
And
yeah,
every life coach was teaching you how to become a millionaire.
Yeah,
Right?
and I ain't seen no more millionaires from them coming up. Hey, I was on so and so's, and his program made me a millionaire. It's like, I haven't seen
Right.
it. And the funny when you said it just made me think like when I was doing the MREX show and showing people things with the Sedona, and I was taking people through processes and giving them the real information and never asking for a dime because it's absolutely free because it's all in your head, right? And anybody just trying to outright just charge you outrageous money is a liar. They haven't done it themselves, right? And so on that show, I did a lot of that. And I can tell you that I watched several very famous YouTubers come out and start literally regurgitating what I said. And then there was a whole movement on it. None of these dudes was talking about manifestation. The black
Right.
conscious community had nothing to do with manifestation. They were still talking about numbers and astrology and using the great code so you can use all the numbers right to line your life up right. That's what they was talking about. I brought the power of the mind. And yeah, I'm
Hmm.
getting on it because it's Friday and I'm feeling good and it's tied into it because you mentioned the life coaching stuff. And I'm like, no, a lot of these guys are frauds.
Yeah.
They can't even
Yeah.
tell you what meditation is. And I'm gonna tell you, if anybody asks you what's meditation, you say hypnosis,
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
self-hypnosis.
Hmm.
And that's where all of it stems from, and all of these there, I mean, I don't I know we're not getting off a topic because it's all tied into each other, right? But
Yeah.
all of this is a form of brainwashing when it comes down to it. That's the real root of it. I remember there was a time where TV went off, right? So when people are unable to keep feeding you things, that's when you go into you and you started thinking about things. But
Mhm.
the way things go now and everything is on, you don't have time to think because they're constantly feeding you something. So if they're constantly feeding you something, you don't have time to think about what you want because they're always telling you what you need.
Hey, and that's called overload, right?
That's
Let me tell
called
you something.
brainwashing.
It's called overload, right? Because here's this thing. You think of information coming in as message units, right? And every day you can take in so many message units, right? Consciously before you hit the magic number. And the magic number sounds like this. Ding. You know that point in your day where you hear the ding and nothing coming in now is working. Like, listen, I can't take any more in. I can't listen to what you're talking about. I don't want to hear what you're talking about. I gotta go sit down somewhere. It's over. Right? That's the magic number. But
I
here's
don't
the
think
thing.
people know where that is anymore, or if that's a thing, because they turn the TV on and start looking at their phone.
This is my point. This is what the thing is doing. Is keeping you hitting that magic number, right? You hit it, and guess what happens? Boom, you get hyper suggestible. You become hyper suggestible when you enter into that state. So they definitely do everything to overload you. Now, when you go to sleep, normally if you a healthy person and you cut stuff off and you lay down and you really decompress yourself and you actually get a good night healthy sleep, then your mind is going to empty out those message units. You wake up, you got a whole new, you can fill your cup up. But you know what? They don't the cup never get empty on people no more, right? They go to bed absorbing the message units. They wake up absorbing the message unit. There's no downtime. There's no chance for the system to reset itself. So they're easily and hyper suggestible. That's why notice these trends catch on so fast. Nobody actually thinks about them, right? Because they were hyper suggestible when they saw it in the first place. So I the term that I like to use, or not, me and Chef use, is just the overload of message units. But another way you can look at it is that is how you could start the process of brainwashing someone. Because once they're in that state, that's what you're calling the brainwash. The brainwash is I'm going to give you new suggestions that's going to counter your old suggestions, and you're going to accept those suggestions, and they're going to become your reality.
Mhm.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? And this is a tale as old as time, man. This is
Right.
this is a tale
It's
as
just
old
all it
as
is the all this is the 2026 version of it.
time.
This is, you know, everybody, we talk about Big Brother. This is just Giant Brother now. You know, this is Big Brother on steroids. That the time that we
Yeah,
live
but
in.
it's not sustainable. None of it is sustainable. The AI shits that's popping up everywhere. It's unsustainable. The water use is unsustainable. Like the surveillance is unsustainable because they need the AI to store the damn surveillance. It's like ridiculous. It's like
Yeah, yeah. It's
it's
just like it's
sustainable.
just
It's
it's
literally
just like the chicken. We know it can't. Some of these chickens have to be not real, right? Because how many chickens can they make? How many chickens can reproduce in all this chicken that we see?
Well,
And they get
I
bigger.
think the real question is how can they keep culling the
Yeah.
chicken?
Okay.
Which is when whenever there's an outbreak of any avian, they cull the whole thing. Thousands and tens of thousands of birds are put down,
Right.
right?
millions, ain't it?
Millions.
Millions.
But we just saying, let's say one farm, right? One farm that produces it, they might have, say, about 10, 25,000, or let's say they got 75,000 chickens. The other chickens were already shipped, is ready to go, but these 25,000 over here, 3 of them got infected. This other 25 got to go. They're going to put them all down. So you tell me, if they're putting them down, how are they reproducing them so fast?
Right. Right.
How long?
You know
How
what I'm
long is
saying?
full grown chicken? How long does it take to get a full grown chicken? 3 months? 4 months?
Right.
I mean, turnaround is kind of fast on that.
Well, that's what, we could just look that up real quick if we really want to know. We don't have to guess.
I'm looking it up right now.
See, look, we're all see. It was a time where you'd have to go to your encyclopedia and look at this.
Me and Britannica was best friends.
Listen, I might be still paying mines off
Yeah.
because I had the one with the gold pages.
Yeah,
Oh,
that,
2 months.
that
Two
had that
months.
whole
It's
extra
2 months, bro. 6
huh?
to 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks. Full grown chicken. Market size: 4 to 7 pounds. 6 to 8 weeks. 2 months.
Wow, wow! And think about that's just not on one farm. How many farms did they make them kill
Now,
all of the? You
now
know,
it says the large heritage breeds, the Brahma, which is a big old chicken, which is beautiful. I don't know if y'all ever seen that one. That it takes a year for that to go
Mm.
full grown, but I think it's like
wow.
3 feet tall. It's pretty big.
Yeah, that's not the ones we're eating in the store. That's not the ones we're eating.
I think we're safe to say those aren't the ones you get in BBQs, right, Tali?
Yeah, that's them BBQs.
Yeah, the commercial ones are 2 months, a month and a half to 2 months. So
Well,
they already had them embryos ready to go.
Maybe
uh-huh.
that could be very possible, but I doubt that from what the farmers are saying.
I think we stopped eating those fresh chickens a long time ago. From what I've heard, I don't know how true it is. That's why they don't call it Kentucky Fried Chicken anymore. It's changed to KFC because it's not fresh like it used to be.
I heard that.
Mm.
But there also is like chicken is apparently worse than pork right now.
Mm.
Yeah, like the cancer causing chemicals that they're putting in it, and like all just the way it's farmed. I'm like, oh really? It's like chicken is a silent killer right now.
Right. And all the food that we eat is a silent killer. I mean, that contributes to what goes on with people too, you know? So I don't know.
Well, that's all a part of the mental health crisis in America.
The food, Well, I
Right,
mean,
food
the
insecurity.
food
Food
is the food is
insecurity.
Well,
driving people
well,
crazy.
here's the thing. People eat a lot of carbs, right? A lot of sugar. Here's an interesting fact. The average American today consumes 170 pounds of sugar a year.
That's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
That's crazy.
Like we're just eating bags of sugar, right?
Bro, think about it. The McDonald's French fries has sugar in it.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember? Do you remember
The
what
salad
a
has
burger,
sugar in it.
like? Remember what a fast food burger tastes like 25 years ago?
No,
Yeah, I
could
do.
It was
could
an
begin
actual
to imagine.
burger. It was an actual burger. We were getting
Yeah,
actual meat. Now
yeah.
it's like burger filler and like, it's like, man, what is this, man? Like, yeah, it's not the same. It's
I
not the
stopped
same.
eating McDonald's chicken nuggets when I watched them make one.
Oh, that
In
paste, that
17 years.
Oh my God. I
I have
was like,
not
I'm
eaten that
eating
in
that?
17
yeah, it's
years.
pretty.
I will refuse to touch it. I will not. Before when I first stopped, that aroma, I was like, oh, it is like drugs. Just smelling it, make me want to go in there. It's like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I could just have some fries. That's not eating the other stuff. Like it was. I was like, oh, whoa, what? Who said that? Like, like
I think.
it's a drug,
It's a
man.
drug.
It wasn't until
I
I
think.
stopped eating it that I was like, for a while, that the smell became to be something that was like, ooh, that doesn't really smell good.
I think the McRib did it for me. When they came out with the first McRib, I'm like, nah, that's not. Nah, I'm good. Nah, I don't think I can eat this anymore. Yeah, I'm good. Like that
Yeah,
was.
we're so used to chemicals. We are so used to chemicals.
Yeah, we have about 400 ingredients in our foods that are not in other countries.
Right. Half the stuff that we eat is not even FDA approved. How about that in other places?
But they get to sell it to us. Crazy, right?
Crazy.
But I think this
Our
is
pork is
contributing
banned
to
in
the mental
140
health
countries.
issue.
Yeah,
our pork is banned in 140 countries.
Hey,
that's crazy.
do you think people's eating habits today are tied to the American dream?
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
I hear people all the time talk about how, oh, look how little that food is. I need more than that. You like, really? Like that's enough. You don't need, and what is these mukbangs? I can't watch that.
What? I didn't understand you.
Is it called a mukbang? Have you
What's
seen these food things where people just eat all of this food?
Oh no.
Reviews? Like this
Oh.
lady,
Oh,
got oversized by eating all that seafood all the time.
that's not good for you.
No.
So America, I know we are way overweight because of our eating habits.
Yeah, it's the sugar.
Yeah.
It's the sugar because it
I
causes our
mean,
body when we eat that much sugar, our body has to overproduce insulin. Insulin is what the pancreas creates to move the remaining sugar out of the blood. You see what I'm saying?
you mean more drugs?
Yeah.
But what? Yeah,
Sugar is considered a drug, FDA, right? It's a drug, right?
depending on what version of it you're talking about.
Glucose, whatever, it's a drug.
Fructose, right? High
Yeah,
fructose.
fructose, glucose, it's all the same.
Well,
code.
glucose is no, it's not. Glucose is what your body produces.
No,
Energy.
fructose.
The fructose and artificial glucose that they produce is really
Yeah,
bad for our
that's
body
artificial
because our
glucose.
body naturally produces it.
And they still put it in our food. What they just started banning that red dye, and how long has that been messing people up?
They've been talking about that for 15 years, getting rid of the red.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that affects your blood sugar,
right.
and your low blood sugar causes anxiety. It triggers your fight or flight. It can
See,
cause depression, mood swings. It can even cause, in some instances, depending on how low the blood sugar is and how long you've been, taking yourself through that, it can cause you to hallucinate, right? You
Mm.
could you could start hearing auditorial, right? You can start hearing things, seeing things. It can make you paranoid because it triggers the primal part of your brain. When your blood sugar drops, it sends your body straight into shock and into survival mode. And because we don't live in the jungle and we ain't out here throwing spears, harpoons, and none of that wild stuff out here, right? It shows up as anxiety, as depression, as you know what I mean? Other type of behavioral things that may affect us in a negative way.
So the American diet is partially the reason why the American dream is failing.
Mm.
It's
They
crazy.
made up the basic 4 food groups so they could sell you more food.
Well, listen, they told us as women what the size that they wanted us to be was like between a 6 and 8. And then years later they told you the average size is like between 12 and 14. But you know how many years people tried to fit between that 6 and 8 size? So, all of this American dream stuff, it's a lot of stuff that has been messing with us, as we can tell. It's been in our food. It's been the way we think, what we've been taught. It's just an all around.
I mean, for years they said milk was good for you.
Oh, right. A cow's milk.
Milk is not good for you.
Especially cow's milk. Last time I checked, we're not cows.
Last I checked, we've only been drinking milk for a few thousand years, maybe. It's like
Yeah, but it was on a
DNA to
occasion.
actually,
It was a delicatessen. It was a dessert. It wasn't like you would just get up and drink it every morning. You would get it. You might have it once a week, once every 2 weeks. It was a delicatessen. It was a very rare thing. It wasn't something we do like we do now.
Well, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like biologically, your body hasn't actually evolved to digest other animals' milk.
Yeah.
This is a scientific fact, right? Like we wasn't designed to be doing a lot of that stuff. Of course, now as we people have tolerate things come from people drinking and doing that and their body rejecting it, and now that's why I think that's another reason too. There's so many different types of milk alternatives out there now. I'm not a fan of almond milk. I mean, it's
because that uses cyanide to cut the almonds. So that's like really, but then apples, the apple seeds. Actually, you have to be careful with those because they have cyanide. There are too many apple seeds called, cyanide poisoning. Crazy enough. Did you know that?
No, never heard of that before.
Mm-hmm. Be careful with those apple seeds.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thank you guys for letting me be a part of your conversation. I think I'm going to go find some McDonald's fries to eat. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You should go buy some. No, I ain't gonna say that.
Do you know you cannot buy McDonald's French fries from them, like the raw ones?
No, they're trademarked. They don't want you to go study it.
Yeah, right. Isn't that crazy? You can go in there and be like, "I give you $100 for a bag." They'll be like, "Nope, sorry, we can't sell it to you."
I can go to jail if I give you these French fries.
Mm-hmm. They got them brainwashed, don't they? But it's interesting.
Remember
how good a cheeseburger used to taste in the 80s?
Listen, I remember when Burger King started that Whopper. Like me and my mom used to share a Whopper because they used to be so big.
Oh yeah, they were, and
right, and they were really flame broiled. Like like it was a real burger. It was good. Right. Now it's just like I think it's just got the broil marks on it.
That's so sad,
isn't it? It's so sad.
That's not even from the grill. That's something that they trademarked onto the burger.
Right.
So I don't know if you've noticed the new Pizza Huts. They've decided to go back to the way they used to be. So they're refurbishing I shouldn't say all of them, but a lot of the older ones. Where it's come in a sit down restaurant where they have the red cups and they got all the. I was like, oh, this is an old thing, and apparently the pizza tastes like it used to back in the day. So
because nostalgia now is like a hip thing. They've even started. They brought back out the Polaroid cameras now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. They that nostalgia stuff. Oh, these new they love it, huh?
Walkmans and cassette tapes. But
Yeah,
they're not
Walkman.
actual
They brought
cassette
them
tapes,
back.
so they look
Oh
like
wow.
yeah.
Record players, what they think they found a new thing. I'm like,
Like
that's
it's
a record
like,
player.
look what this can do. I just put this rod down on it, right? And then somehow the thing, the song, you see the grooves, that's the song. And
Oh
when you
my
start spinning the
god.
song, you're gonna hear something like this. Oh, yo, it's the song. Look at that.
Yeah. So
I'm being funny. I mean, I thank you for joining us, Moya, coming up.
thank you. I appreciate it. I had a good time. It was a nice conversation.
Yeah,
Nice to
and I
meet you,
love the way
Moya.
you think.
You too. You too. It was nice to meet your acquaintance. You guys have a really good night, okay?
You
You
too.
too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Later.
That's nice for her to drop in.
Yes, yes. So that was a fun first hour. You know, a little away from the format, and and that's cool. Maybe today is not about the format as much as just about the conversation.
Yeah. So
So I
I
thought that was excellent.
I
That was
know I kind of
really great.
ventured into people escaping America and going to a different place. I can honestly say because I was one of those, and I probably still am one of those people. Where I had a place in Colombia a few years back, and man, when I would just get off the plane, it was just different. It was just different. I felt different. Even though I was the same person, I felt different. And it just, like all the pressures the daily pressures didn't exist. Even though I know they're still there, but it just didn't feel like they existed. And then when I would come home, I'd be depressed for like a month.
Mm.
Coming home, dealing with this society, like, oh God, you gotta get up and you gotta go. It's like it was almost like I could breathe. Because I had a place in DR. So I had a place in DR and I had a place in Colombia. In both places, man, I always felt like I could just breathe. And when I'm here, it feels like you're breathing. As soon as you get off the plane, your breathing is restricted. Right? You like get off the plane. Oh shit! I gotta fight to get my luggage. Then you gotta look outside traffic. Then it's like shh, that nervous system again. Right? That little bit of anxiety.
So what could you do about that? What would be some advice you could give someone
Leave and
who
don't
may
come
be
back.
listening to you? As a
Get the hell up out of here.
hypnotherapist, someone who specializes in transformational change of the mind.
What I would honestly say is no matter where you are, no matter you can get up and pack, you're still gonna have that same face that you're gonna have to look at in the mirror. You're gonna still have those same issues. You may be, like I said, you may be in a different environment, but you still got the same problem. So you're going to have to deal with yourself. But the one thing that sometimes does work.
How would you suggest someone deal with their self, sir? Here's my suggestion. You have to learn to reframe. See, everything you think you're feeling in that moment and I've traveled and understand that, I even got into a spat, a verbal spat with one of the people who with the tickets who was supposed to be, print my ticket out. And so I I would suggest to you out there is to do something called a reframe, right? And to begin to reframe that experience into a different context, one that has less emotional resonance. And that's what I would suggest. What about you, Chef? We got so many techniques.
Oh man, I just went blank. I was just listening. I have no idea. I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna let you handle that. It kind of went beyond me because I was thinking about something completely else.
You went.
I spaced
Hey,
out.
we're just people, man.
I was
And,
on planet Saffron for a moment. I was like thinking about some stuff, but what method would I do? Honestly,
I would do a few things.
Like what
I'm
would you
glad you
tell
came back
somebody
to me.
usually they could
Me
do?
personally, for someone who is dealing with themselves within my meditation, my personal meditation, because I am a Reiki practitioner. Whenever I have these blockages, I focus on my chakras to open my chakras up, which I do with breathing, imagining release, bringing it back and releasing it. Then I do, you know, all seven, top to bottom, from a root to the crown. Um, then I would do, if I still had some more issues, which I'm sure, if once you have anxiety, you got to face it. I would do EFT, emotional feeling technique, because I love the way it can get rid of anxiety very fast. The tapping, the tapping.
Mm-hmm.
We've done that here before. And then if that didn't work, I would then get therapy, because excuse me, I would include breath work within the EFT as well. But as a personal modality, and if you're by yourself, these are things that can actually help you, right? And if you practice qigong, I practice Reiki. I do self Reiki all the time. I do it in the morning with my meditation every day, and for me, it is just amazing for me because I'm chill. If I have a problem, I talk to my therapist, Talib, right here, and then I'm good. I'm good. And like literally, the process is so simple. So I don't complicate it. And when I do get there, because we all have our moments where we just, right? Honestly, man, I haven't had a there moment.
Right, right. I know you haven't. You've been on a pretty good flow chart lately, man. I gotta, without giving away too much, the
Yeah.
things we got coming down the pipeline. You've been in a nice flow state. I just mean for the people that are out there. One
For
of
the
the things
people,
for the people that are out there that you could do is is remember to ground yourself. And the best way to ground yourself can be, but see, I know from my own personal experiences, breathing in the moment of feeling upset or going through something can be very challenging to remember. But what you can also do if you don't remember to breathe or having a hard time finding yourself trying to do it, ground yourself like this. Where are my feet right now? They're on the ground. And bring your attention to your feet in the ground and feel the ground. And then feel your feet in your shoes. For any therapy, just was like when you were in a moment. Now it's stuff something to go from your going through stress from you just bring it right back to the edge. Do not turn your head. Keep your head can come up. Feel at your fingers. What happens is feeling is going to take about 30 seconds a minute. Mind hold the time. Right? Choose stick to the thing that's in the moment. When you're moving in front of your face. Logically, okay, it'll be gone. Singing, it looked like, hey Peach, if you there, I think I was having a little bit of issue with my internet on this end for a second there. It was going a little in and out. But I think I'm back strong. I sound good, everything good, everybody. Can I just if I sound loud and clear for you, just hit please put a 1 in the chat for me. All right, thank you, thank you. And hey, Peach, we want to go ahead and open up the lines too for anybody who'd like to come up and share their thoughts on the American dream and mental health today, how you feel it might affected you and the way you might see it. We want to open up the chat for people to come on up and give their thoughts and opinions and feelings about some of this. And yeah, and then what since he brought it up, what we'll probably do before we get out of here is we'll do a quick EFT once again. You can never go wrong. I wanted to start probably doing a little EFT session every day. Maybe just jump on for 10 minutes, do a quick 10-minute tapping session to get my day, everybody else's day who sees it going into the right direction. So that is something. Also, don't forget to check out Peach ENT, the Peach Network. He's got incredible shows all lined up, all ready to go, all amazing, all wonderful with great hosts and wonderful content, and everything is so much variety for everyone to check out. So when you get a chance, please check out Peach ENT. Uh, what I wanted to do was you have the I want to look at this little list I have here that on my thing of some of the shows coming up. We got the 12 p.m. ish show get coming up. I think that come up this weekend. We also what else we got here? Well, I know we got that coming up. Uh, we got the Peach 12ish coming up for I think that's usually on Saturdays too. I always tune in, I always love to watch their shows because they're always full of fun and information and you never know what you're going to hear and where people are coming from, so you just get a nice wonderful perspective of everyone. So if the lines are open if you like to come up and give your thoughts and opinions on the American dream and the mental health crisis. Do you see a connection between the two? Right. And Sunchild 51 said something is happening with, oh, okay. Something is happening with the voice, the video. Even my side, it took me to another video. Oh, okay. They saying they cannot hear me. So, hey, Peach, can you hear me? Am I coming through? Because I just want to make sure I'm unmuted here. I believe I am though. I'm hearing myself in my little headphones. Okay, good. You can hear me. Great. Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm waiting for Chef to come back. He dropped. I'm pretty sure he's gonna jump back in. Oh, okay. It's okay. Peach is telling me, hey, Sunchild 51, it may be your internet or those settings you have. I'm getting some technical support on my end to let me know that my audio is coming through pretty well and I could be heard. So you may want to check that out. And I appreciate you though for letting me know that there was an issue you're experiencing. That was really cool of you.
Hey,
Hey, there he
we're back.
is.
Look like we're back again. Sorry about that. There we go.
Okay.
Coming back online. There we go. There we go. Much better camera.
Cool.
That was I don't know what happened there. Everything just shut down.
Well, you know, the internet can be that way sometimes. It's not always,
Like a solar
you
flash
know,
happened.
yeah.
Took us out.
And you know, it happens to the best of us. Oh yeah. Okay. The other show that I really like is their political show that Peach has called Uphill Battle. Jump on the Peach Entertainment and check out Uphill Battle. They have had several episodes that were really informative and just really great to hear a different perspective on what's going on politically. But we are opening up the lines for people to come up and to join us and to thank you, Sunchild 51. You can hear us now. Thank you for joining. We're glad to have you here. We have opened up the line, Sunchild, if you like to come give your opinion on the American dream and how it is affecting mental health, or if you think it is. Yeah. So we got about I'd say about 30 minutes left to the show, and I want to thank everybody for who's been tuning in and listening. I hope you've been enjoying and getting some value out of the conversation. Um, I often like to do a practice on here. I like to offer something, uh, a tool or a skill that could uh, assist you, something that you could try and experience something with it. So, hold on, I'm reading a chat, guys. So apologize for that. That's what's going on. Is the sun, and it went up again. Oh, okay. So Sunchild is saying that there was some more solar flares that began to hit the planet again,
I
and they were
told you.
pretty big. So if you think, excuse me, if you're having a problem with your internet today, don't worry. You're not having bad luck. It's not you. You could breathe easy because it's the sun. There you
Solar
go.
flare.
Solar flares that have hit the planet. You know, it takes about 2, 3 days for them to reach Earth. So yeah. So we just had a nice little wave of solar flares that came in and hit. We're in the 25th cycle, sun cycle, and it's been a very active one for all you sun watchers out there.
I welcome, as a child of the sun, I welcome the solar flares.
Mm. And let me ask you, because of the American dream was so innately tied to religion, and religion plays such a part in people's mental health, right? Do you think that and it, that people are because more and more there are more and more people waking up to religion, and sort of going, "Hey, I don't know about that. I think I need to go find some stuff out myself." Do you think the religion is also creating this exodus from the American dream? Right? Because if people, for example, and I'm not trying to get too religious on anyone, we are talk about the mind, and this has a lot to do with the mind, right?
Mhm.
But we live in a Christian nation. Would you not agree? I mean, we
Yeah,
could say no, we don't, but uh,
no, we do.
we do,
Mhm.
and so you would agree that if we live in a Christian nation, they probably follow the belief systems of Christianity.
But they don't.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm not saying they follow the maybe all of the guidelines, but they definitely believe enough to where it can affect their lives. They will do certain things, right? And if you are a believer in the Bible, right, and you believe that revelation is starting, it's happening, right? Would you even care about the American dream anymore?
Hmm.
Is there any
Well,
Christians out there that may be listening that may be able to offer some sort of how they look at this like and because that would cause like a mental checkout, right? It's like there's no need doing this. There's a return that's happening. The beast is showing himself, right? There's all these so-called prophetic signs that are happening right now, right? Which would lead a person to go, well, why would I start a business? Why would I start family? Right? What's the point of going outside and hanging out and enjoying the weather?
because life goes on.
Well, I mean,
Every, everything
I
that we've
agree.
been
I'm
told that
saying that.
everything that we've been told that was supposed to happen on a physical level has not on a physical level. So it may have happened on the spiritual level, or esoteric level, or even an astrological level, or a metaphysical level. Um, but it has not materialized physically. But I guess this solar flare just did. So and
Well,
I think we're ooh.
people, how they do, how they treat the inside, look at belief, right? They're able, right? it creates this dynamic of, it's almost like, from what I'm thinking, from what my just from my personal being me, right? Is it wouldn't that create some kind of of a, I don't want to call it a mental disorder, but some kind of mental health issue, right? Because
Internal conflict.
right, wouldn't that, thank you, perfect term, right? That's why you're my colleague. Would it create that internal conflict in a person, right? And that's, it's a form of resistance, which is a form of being uncomfortable and so on, and so I'm just curious to know, Peach, if you got, I'd love to know what you think about the American dream. If it, but I can already hear it saying, "Nah, leave me out of that. I don't want to do the American dream."
Um, one thing about the church is not doing as well financially as it has done previously in the past. Um, COVID put an ass whooping on the church. Excuse my language. It just, by them not going, people not physically being able to go to church, church couldn't get tithes. So, they've been having a tough time getting people back up in the churches. That has nothing to do with COVID. I think that has a lot to do with a lot of the messages that are being relayed now, because in this era, people are looking more towards spirituality and not as much as a particular religion, more of finding themselves and trying to figure out why they are the way they are, realizing that, I think spirituality is a beautiful thing in my personal life because it is my individual relationship with God. And no man and or woman can get between my personal relationship with God. So spirituality for me works for me. But we're all evolving. I have a great understanding of who God is and what God means in my life. And I do understand that I am the American dream wherever I go. Because the dream is here. Or here. So wherever I decide that I'm going to be, it's going to be that dream. Even if it's not here, it's still going to be the American dream because I am the American. And it is my dream. And I always wanted it to be. But in saying that, I can go back to, was really the American dream our dream? Because that was never my dream. Was it your dream?
Yeah.
The house, the kids,
Yeah.
Yes.
That's one part of it. It's not so that
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to say. Like,
Yeah.
it was not, the American dream was really pushed through Hollywood. That's why you keep saying white picket fences. That's Donna Reed. That's Donna
Mhm.
Reed. That's where you got that from.
Yeah.
Right? You got that from Donna Reed. You got that from the television. Now, when we
Yes.
came along, what was the American dream now for minorities? It was like, oh, you could start a business, right? Calvin's got a job. It was, oh, hip hop came in there, and
Atari,
all of a sudden,
on TV,
right?
select TV, a microwave. If you had a Cadillac, that was it, and a
Well,
job.
well, those were the things that were
That was
symbols
it.
of it. But if you remember, we have been, everybody's not the same, right? There's something called social stratification. This is classism. Okay. Lower class, middle class, upper class. See, within this is each of them have their own hierarchy system. People in the lower class do not receive the same education, nor do they experience the same environment as the middle class. They do not get taught religion the same. They don't get taught anything the same. So there's this division in everybody especially when it comes I'm going to say minorities. When it comes to us, right? When it comes to us, right? There's this thing that's where we don't seem to understand that what they pushed on us was the drug dealer image got twisted into something that was a positive that was used through hip hop. It wasn't started with hip hop because hip hop was a call to action, and not only just a call to action. That was during a time where we were going through a lot, and the young people were created their own way to express what was going on in their world and make fun for themselves. Nobody really believed in hip hop. This is a fact.
Well, the drug dealer created the new age entrepreneur.
Well, yeah, because remember, black exploitation film set the last bar, right?
But
And
that was the pimp.
That was,
pimp.
but the pimp also dealt in
The new age entrepreneur.
right, which was, hey, I sell beep, and
Mhm.
all of a sudden I might sell a little bit of bleep, right?
Mhm.
And if you mess with me, I'll cut you, right? Right? And the diamonds in the back, sun rooftop, digging the scene with a gangster lean, right? All the music, that's direct lyrics from a song for those that know, right? All the music, and that was the American dream that was pushed on us, right?
But
now by the time go ahead.
You mentioned the music. You mentioned the music. That shit was fucking important. That was pivotal in the American dream, the music, because it brought out the emotion.
Right.
Right.
Now, when you pair that with the imagery, right? Now you have a powerful suggestion. Movies like The Mac, bro, all that stuff, that created an image that made you go buy the album.
We're gonna have a conversation after this, and we're gonna talk about that movie.
Oh,
But
but
sidebar,
you bring
sidebar.
right, when you bring it down though, further down the line, right? When by the time hip hop came along, right? We and into the 90s, there was this new version of the American dream that was forming, right?
Mhm.
It was a new American dream that was forming, right? And there was this, you know what? I'm going to accept that I'm a thug. Life ain't never going to get no better. It got glorified. It got glorified psychologically, right? Tupac is the reason that anybody has thug life on their body. Period. End of story. It didn't exist before he did it and showed everybody. That's just the fact.
Yeah, but did okay, so I'll ask some questions about that. Did he embody Old Dog? Because Tupac wasn't like that before when he was with Digital Underground. And I know this has nothing to do with the conversation, but did he embody Old Dog from Menace to Society? Because it was 93, I think Menace to Society came out. Right?
No.
It wasn't 93 when
Man,
Menace to
go
Society?
watch Juice. He
Yeah.
embodied Bishop.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right. Yeah, he definitely embodied Bishop. He embodied Bishop. He took that personality on and never let it go.
Right, and then that became the next thing. But
Yeah.
that's neither
Yeah.
here nor there. The
Yeah.
point is that there was this image that started getting generated. And
Mhm.
once that got past, we got past that, we had another image that was generated, right? And this is where the evolution of what we're seeing today. And that's Stu Puff in them, right? What did they bring in? Dance, throw money. Success
Mhm.
is being on a yacht, getting in a rose. Right?
Straight
This was not the
Straight up social programming and hypnotism. Straight up.
right? Because before to be successful, you needed to be. This was the black image that they were selling to us because in the 90s is where your private prison system started, right? And they needed to fill those jails. And the best way to do that was through the mind control, through hypnosis, which was music.
Bling, do the bling.
Right.
Oh, you want this that I got.
And the music and the videos. And then all of a sudden,
And you're gonna do everything you can to get it.
rap videos was turning up left and right. They was back then they were $30,000 for
Oh man, dude, I made so much money on rap videos in the 90s. Oh my god.
okay. They had like, we got to get this out to the public.
Yeah.
And so, and then when you had social media, that just was like, oh, okay, we can actually take this to a whole nother level,
Mhm.
you know? And that's during this time, something was created called reality TV. You know this, like I know it wasn't the first reality show. We know the first reality show was by HBO about a serial killer and his whole family and everything they dealt with after they found out who he was. That's literally the first reality
What year?
TV show.
Show MTV. What was it when they had the house when they were in crib? No, not crib. Shit. I was asked to do
Real World.
Real World was the first, and that was like 92, 93.
Something around, yeah.
I got asked to Real World, and I turned it down.
They experimented with it. And,
I know.
and oddly enough, remember, it was during that writer's strike in early 2000 is when all of your reality picked up.
Yeah, I mean,
Hard.
they asked me to be in it, be part of cast. I was like, yeah, what are y'all talking about? I was like, nah, because we didn't, there was no idea of what that was.
Nope,
They're
it was
like,
being tested at that time. It
yeah,
needed. That's why they did Real World Cancun.
yeah.
It never was to really make the big profit off of it being a movie. It was to show that they could get people, if they could make it into a successful film, right? And actually get people to come out and watch reality on a screen in a movie theater, then this is a sure shot, right?
Mm.
And that's where all of that came. And then you see what I'm saying? Now the new American dream started. We stopped looking. It started crumbling, right? And we started getting access and being able. There was a time where we didn't get to pick on people the way we do now that are
So
famous.
you're right. So I'm gonna link something together that
Mhm.
where you're talking about the American dream, and you said something. Did you say OJ? Did you say something like that? You said
Oh, I ain't
something.
saying nothing about no OJ.
I don't know, but you said something that brought my mind up to the Kardashians
Mm.
and how reality there we go. How reality TV was created, basically based reality TV started following OJ. That's how reality TV started. Like really, when we followed him when he was going back to his house, right? Well, now I'm guilty of this. When he was going back to his house, it was they turned off the championship game. I don't know if you remember that. We were literally watching OJ get chased from his house. I was able to watch it on the news, go to the 405 freeway, follow his ass on the freeway, and then it was a party in front of his house. Literally, it was a block party in front of OJ's house, and everyone there. This is long before it went out. It was like a free OJ. Everyone there having a great time all night, party in front of OJ house. Media saw that attention. And when they saw that attention, that's when the Kardashians, when whatever happened with them, that's when they capitalized off of it. But getting to them, one of the reasons why all of the women look alike or have the same style, all the people have the same style, is part of them, part of that programming through the Kardashians, and essentially what. And I have to say, Kim Kardashian got famous for.
No,
right?
I understand what you're saying, but bro, Jersey Shores was before that.
No, I'm talking about.
And when I say reality TV, you have to understand what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, why do they call it reality TV? Because it's supposed to be what? Unscripted.
Yeah, but it's all scripted.
The words aren't scripted. What's scripted?
The scenarios are scripted.
Huh?
Every scenario is scripted.
The environment is scripted.
The scenarios are scripted.
Meaning they don't know what they're gonna say. They don't know. Bro, I've worked on Real Housewives.
I got you.
Almost all of them, right? I've worked on a lot of reality shows, and what I can tell you is how they script them and set the environment up, and how they psychologically manipulate them, and then they use sleep deprivation and sequestering. There's very specific tactics they use to get those people to do the things that they do.
They keep them cold. They keep them isolated. They do all kinds of shit.
Right. That's what I mean by and The Real World was one of the first shows that they showed us, right, where they was using this practice. This was all set up by the producers, but the talent is not in on it. The scripting through the environment.
Mm-hmm. The scenario. They're creating a scenario.
Yeah. That's what that's all I was talking about. I agree with what you're saying though, when it comes to the Kardashians and like they became the model of a lot of things when it came to that.
They became the prototype of the American dream woman for the last 15 years.
I wholeheartedly agree with you.
And that has been not a good thing. That has not been a good thing, because it literally, you have, I mean, me just being in Colombia, like the individualism is not many women that have straight hair. Like they all are looking at a certain type because of that prototype, and that prototype became the world prototype. Like if you just travel around the world, if you could just look and see it, you're like, wow. Like it doesn't matter the complexion. Just I'm talking about the style, right? The style of dress, the style of wear, the style of walk, the attitude, the tight clothes. It's just the whole persona. It's all around the world, but it's really bad here. Thus,
I mean,
thus,
we have our own form of bad here. We got our own thing here. You know,
mm,
one thing I like to remind people is do not forget this is the freest place you can live. You don't believe it, take yourself to another country and get arrested. You find out real fast and real quick that laws and freedoms you have here and the ability to speak and represent yourself and even pay for legal representation is very different outside of here. I know we
that is,
are in a controlled system, but some of these other places, they're not as tactful or tasteful about how they rule over their citizens. And a lot of what we see of some of these places is from their travel department, the part of the government that's supposed to increase tourism. You see what I'm saying? Not the actual citizenship. There's certain places me and you ain't going to live. Like I ain't I
yeah,
mean, not saying because just because of our nationality, right? But because of the laws there.
yeah. Certain places I'll just never go to.
Yeah, you know, I would like to visit Germany, but I wouldn't live there. Have you seen their laws? They're crazy. Some of the stuff you know, and there's a lot of so-called freedom that they present, but when you start looking at being a citizen of somewhere else, it changes some of the dynamic of, you know, like, oh, okay. Yeah.
So what I'm noticing, and I know we don't really have a lot of time, but what I'm noticing, the people that are fleeing,
Hmm.
um, the country, I can't say fleeing, but the expats that are leaving, they're going to a place that calms their nervous system. That seems to be like 70 to 90% of the people that are leaving.
Yeah.
Like, and because everyone talks about just the calm and the not the grind, the hard, just you got to get up, you got to get at this time, you got to work for 8 to 10 to 12 hours, and then you got to go home, you got to be on a certain time, and you got to cook it, like all these gotta. It's a lot of gotta here. And when people have a tendency to go somewhere else, they realize, like, hold on, man, like I don't gotta do much of anything but just be me. And when is the last time people were genuinely being themselves with no pressure?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that are in a different financial position when they go to another country, you know. Um, and and remember, they have to go with some American money so they can exchange over there and live longer. Because if you just go in there and using their money, no, you have to play their game. You have to work like everybody else, and the hard work everybody around you's doing. You're gonna have to get involved with some of that unless you do the smart thing and set yourself up properly, right? Then you like you was thinking and talking about to me on some other conversations we was talking, you know, about being able to be set up properly to go over there and to have that experience. So I find that the people that sort of prepare to have that experience, they do. There's a lot of people that go there to run from here,
Yeah, that doesn't
right?
work.
And they end up running into the same issues there because they're the issue,
Hmm.
right? And when you're the issue, there is nowhere you can go to get away from you.
Can't point to nobody else but yourself. Yeah, a lot of people can't see themselves.
Yeah. So uh we got a few minutes left. I was gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap it up for this
Well,
show.
I think we had some really. I wish we would kind of have a little few more questions come on in. But I think this is a very good topic that we can talk about further on because you and I are actually going to be doing a retreat coming next year. So, just to get that out there, folks, Talib and I will be doing a retreat coming up soon, and we're in preparation for that for those that may be interested. So, just want to put that out there. Also, I think, Talib, you have a flyer of mine that I put up. Anyone who's watching, you can have a one free session, an initial session with me. Um, if you once Talib or once Peach post that flyer, you can look at it, email me or give me a call, and we can set something up. And Yeah, that's about it.
Oh, great. Well, I'm going to say thank you all for joining. We got a few more minutes. So if you're out there and you'd like to come up and say something, please do. Uh, we'd love to hear from you. We really would. Uh, my goal is to help you into making that transformation
Yeah, and he popped
you would
out. So
like to become.
there we go.
And when I am offering, or you can go to my website at beyondthemindhypnotherapy.com. Uh, I offer a scholarship on there for free sessions to assist you in any way you feel you need assistance, because I am merely a guide on the journey that you choose to take. So uh, I'm gonna leave it at that. I want to and and teach an individual who does and yeah, she will help people get you and it's doing so. We're gonna go ahead and say to you all, and happy very weekend. Expect a miracle, and you right before we go doing.
Well, I think he was going to say one more thing, and I'm not quite sure what that is. But I will tell you one more thing. I can be reached at Oriah Hypnotherapy, which is OREAHA hypnotherapy.com. Sephron at oriahhypnotherapy.com.
There we go. So I want to thank you all for joining us. We'll be back next week at 8 p.m. on Friday, and that's 5 p.m. if you're on the West Coast over here with us. Uh, I will be talking to Peach behind the scenes. Maybe I'll be doing another thing with another show. Something else may be coming up down the pipeline, but we'll talk to the big boss man and see what we looking at. But in the meantime, in between time, expect a miracle, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Welcome to Rewriting Your Reality, a video focused on hypnotic modalities to shift the belief systems that keep you captive. We will explore the journey from being subconsciously programmed to achieving quantum freedom. Get ready to dismantle everything you thought you knew about your own limitations. The mind's power is a historical fact. Franz Mesmer introduced animal magnetism in the 1700s. James Braid coined hypnotism, defining it as a focused physiological state. Crucially, before anesthesia, major surgeries were performed using this trance state, proving the mind's ability to override physical pain. My personal journey proves the mind transcends the body. A near-death experience revealed pure awareness. After being paralyzed, I reprogrammed my body through visualization and discipline. The core truth is that identity is the prison and the key. Your mind can reshape reality itself. Unmasking the global hypnotic modality. Secret societies and governments. They understood the power of the trance state long ago and weaponized it to shape societal structures from the shadows. Corporate hypnosis. Advertising and media use sophisticated neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, to obscure reality and shift your belief systems without your consent. The ultimate goal, to control the narrative, consumption, and consciousness of the masses, turning individuals into predictable units of a manufactured paradigm. They are the masters of the hypnotic modality. The first element of global hypnotic modality is authority, manufactured to establish psychological inferiority. Uniforms, robes, and controlled environments trigger unquestioning obedience. When you look up to an authority, your critical factor is lowered, accepting suggestions as absolute truth. The uniform is the first induction. The second element is translogic, a self-contained system logical only within its own framework. This creates a closed loop of reasoning. A doctrine establishes ultimate authority, turning rules into absolute truths. The paradigm acts as a perceptual filter, making external manipulation feel like internal conviction. The third element is overload, creating an intense, rapid-fire experience that bypasses the conscious mind. Techniques include sensory saturation, emotional triggers, and message overload. This forces the subject to feel something profound, anchoring the belief without rational scrutiny. The heart accepts what the head has no time to question. The grand illusion is when you become your own hypnotist. Division keeps us fighting each other, distracting us from the masters of the modality. They use filtered evidence to make you doubt your power. The ultimate control is when you self-hypnotize with their suggestions. I am not enough. This is the self-hypnosis of suffering. The quick release uses the Sedona method to clear emotional debris. Emotional baggage is just something you are holding on to. You can drop it using these 4 questions. Could I let this feeling go? Would I let this feeling go? When? Answer: now. Repeat until you feel a tangible shift in your state. The reframe shifts meaning and reality. Change the meaning you attach to an event, and you change your emotional response. Content reframing actively searches for the positive intent or hidden benefit. Failure is just data and feedback. A block is a stepping stone. Change the question to change the destination. You are already in a trance. Self-hypnosis is choosing your own program. This is your new operating system. Use a simple countdown to enter a deep state and plant empowering beliefs into your subconscious mind. Consistent practice rewrites your core identity, dissolving suffering and manifesting the quantum you. Are you ready to take your quantum leap? This exclusive transformation package offers the book 30 Days to the Quantum You, custom video masterclasses, and a personal Zoom session for deep work. Stop fighting the illusion and start rewriting your reality today.